maybe I could just share a little bit about how we talk about it now, and you could tell me what's broken. I think that'd be a practical example for people. Can I get a little vulnerable with you? Is that okay?
Sure.
So we have at Trainual, my company, we have a strategic planning meeting, a quarterly planning meeting in 2 weeks. And one of the things that we're going through is kind of reviewing, putting our own mission and purpose and vision kind of up for debate. And one of the things that we've talked about is, do we have a purpose really that's strong enough in how we communicate it? And so maybe I could just share a little bit about how we talk about it now, and you could tell me what's broken. I think that'd be a practical example for people. Okay, so we have this vision where we say, actually, it was kind of borrowed from an old Microsoft thing when they said, a computer on every desk. We thought, well, a playbook in every business, like if every business had instructions and it was well organized, that'd be an aspirational thing. So that was the vision. And then in the mission, we've got, a target of what we're aiming for. And so the purpose is more like we've said, helping small businesses be better organize their chaos, like the podcast. We've said, help you design the perfect business, whatever that means for you, your own policies, processes, culture. Are those strong kind of purpose statements, or what would you challenge me to really push on?
Well, the first thing that you should ask yourself is, what do we do best? And it should be better than anybody else. What do you do best, better than anything? It's the first question you should ask, and you guys all need to be aligned about that. Usually one thing bubbles to the top. Don't just ask yourself, ask your clients. Okay. Oftentimes you'll get great insight by asking them. So your primary question is, what do you do best, better than anything else? That's likely your superpower.
Okay.
Okay. And you got to get really, really, really crystal clear on that. Okay. Once you understand that, you then have to say, well, how do I use the superpower to improve something in the world? Right, with my clients, et cetera. I love E&Y because E&Y is to build a better working world. That is their purpose. Okay, and you see that they're a consulting firm, right? You see that in everything they do, right? You see it in their advertising. You see it in their on their website. You see it in the consulting type of consulting work they pick. You see it in terms of the foundations and et cetera that they invest in. Okay. But you've got to figure out what is your superpower. What did you best? And then how are you going to make the world a better place? Now, here are the other things you have to ask yourself. Probably it should be no more than, I would say 7 words maximum. Some people are longer, it's 10 or 11, but no more than that. Okay. You want to ask yourself, is this compelling? Will this inspire my employees? That's a fundamental question because they got to operationalize it. If what you have in a paper means nothing to them and they can't get motivated behind it, you need to rip up that sheet of paper because they're at the end of the day, it's not you that has to do things. It's going to have to be all of your employees. Okay. So that's what I would say to you, bottom line. So is it inspirational? Is it motivational? And then the last question you have to ask yourself in my mind, is it commercial? Can I make money off of this? Okay. Because if you can't make money off of it, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to actually fulfill that purpose because unless you have unlimited dollars, and some people do. And for some people, that's just fine because they're bankrolling it. Okay. Most businesses do not have the ability to bankroll it. Right. And so for me, that's how you're going to organize the chaos of that thinking to bring it down. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the mission should be, what are you doing? Like what markets are you targeting? What services are you offering? And maybe even where you play there. Right. Brand promises, like what promise are you going to make to your clients? Right. But all this has to integrate and interrelate. You probably can get there through a few workshops, but I'm going to tell you, start asking the question. The very first question is, what value do you add? You want to ask that to your employees. What value do they think you add? Okay, not value what you add, but what value do they think you add, right? But more importantly, tell me what you really think we do best, better than anybody else, right? You're going to get a lot of, and then force them to pick one thing. They don't get three, okay? They'll say, oh, we do this. Say, no, you don't get three, right? No, you get one, okay? And so that's what I would tell you.
I love it. So practical. I mean, so I'm gonna run through this really quick, just as a summary for everyone. But first, starting with, what do we do best? Ask your employees, ask your customers. Really, what you're trying to get is, what is your superpower?
Partners, stakeholders, ask everybody. Yeah. What do you think I do best? Go and talk to them.
Okay, and then you take that superpower and you say, how do we use this to improve the world? And you craft a statement that's no more than 7 words. Is this compelling? Will this inspire my employees? Is this motivational? Can I make money on this? And just pick one. So I think that's super practical.
Yeah,
thank you.
You might generate like 3 concepts from that. And then you might want to bring those three concepts to life to make sure it's where you want to live, right? And so that kind of iterative phrase, it's like, okay, if I forgot this one, where might it go? What does it look like from a value standpoint? I've got this other one. Where might it go? What does it look like from a value standpoint? Because in the end, you've got to adopt all the values. So I actually like to think about, let's look at it from a value standpoint. Where can this go? Does my brand promise change under each of these, or does it stay? Right? You will get more and more comfortable with where you are by doing that, right? And mission's right in there, right? And you'll start to see disconnects really quickly. And you'll also start to see things that you need to clean up. Right? What people don't think about, and I think they need to, is we talked about brand expression a little bit, right? Brand expression is visually, what does this look like? But there's also employee expression. There's sales expression when you go out. You've got a big company, you've got a large sales force. How are they expressing that? Right? All of those things are really, really important, because in the end, this is an operational model, and you've got to really think about it's an operational model.